A lot of these sales coaching programs are literally just teaching you guys how to scam. And I am so freaking tired of it. Like there's all these different people online talking about scriptless selling or, how to come up with this different sales tactic. All of this stuff that people are teaching on YouTube, 99% of it is illegal. And if you don't believe me, stick throughout this whole entire video. I'm going to be breaking down how a company literally just got sued for millions of dollars and shut down from the same exact sales tactics and strategies that all these gurus are teaching. Three main tactics that are illegal that these gurus are teaching. The number one is testimonials, right? We're going to dive a little bit more about testimonials. Another one is lifestyle claims. The third one, I believe, is the most important one that other people are showing you guys right now that's illegal. So just stick through the end of this video. I'm going to make sure to cover it with you. So let's first start off by talking about lifestyle claims. These are those claims where you get someone on a sales call. And if you don't know what high ticket sales is, it's very simple. You might see these different gurus, coaching programs, and service-based businesses online. Well, a lot of those businesses have way too many interested customers for the business owner to go and talk to all the leads. So what you do as a high ticket closer is you step in and you take those calls on the business owner's behalf. So it's not cold calling, it's not door knocking. I know something here in the States is like, going door to door and selling knives. You're not doing anything at all like that, right? These are legit businesses, most of them, and you're going out and you're selling products to customers that are already interested. So you can think about a real estate consulting offer as an example. Someone that makes a lot of money in real estate, they might be posting online and then now they're going viral. Other people are interested. You're the one taking those calls to see if they're qualified to work with that business owner to get help with something real estate consulting wise. So as an example, real estate coaching. Let's just say you're a high ticket closer on a real estate coaching offer and a lead comes to you and they're saying, hey, I want to make passive income. And you tell the lead, why do you want to make passive income? Which is a pretty common thing that people do in sales, which is called probing. Why do you want to make passive income? And they end up telling you, I want to make passive income because I can end up living on the beach. I don't have to work as much. These are lifestyle claims that they're making. Now, if you go and verify that the lifestyle that they want to have from going through that program is achievable and it's common, that is illegal. And the business owner will actually end up being fined and sued. So you cannot make lifestyle claims. And a lot of people are doing this. It's so normal because a lot of this stuff is almost like the wild, wild west. So if you think about turn your laptop into an ATM or financial freedom guarantees or replace your full-time income with just a side hustle, these are all lifestyle guarantees. That's completely illegal. You cannot be saying that on a sales call or the business owner can be fined by the FTC. Now, the next tactic that a lot of these sales coaches are teaching you on YouTube is testimonials. They say stories sell. All right, you might have heard that before. Tell a story because humans by nature, they like stories. That's true. But using testimonials that describe extreme outcomes without disclosing that they're not typical is completely illegal. So let's just say somebody takes a program. We can go back to the real estate program. And Billy takes a real estate program and he starts making $60,000 every single month, right? But typically, people that take that program are actually not even successful. So if you actually share a testimonial and the typical outcome is actually people not taking results or actually getting results or even being successful or making a lot less money, that is illegal. You have to give a disclosure and tell that person that this is not a typical result that actually goes to the program. And you have to give a disclosure and let them know what the typical result actually is. So if you're already selling on an offer right now and you're doing this, the business owner is allowing you to do this, you're literally doing something illegal. And you have to change. And you might even want to go ahead and tell the business owner you've been doing this because you could also be at fault. When you're a high ticket closer, most of you guys are not getting paid as employees. You guys are getting paid as contractors. So that money that they're paying out to you is actually going to your LLC and you are a part of doing this illegal activity, right? And it's almost impossible to make sure that you're being compliant when you are not following any type of script at all. So when I hear people talking about scriptless selling, I'm also thinking, wait, how do you do that when the company might have 80, 90 different reps at scale and everyone's saying different things? There has to be some type of quality control. a lot of times people that are telling you to do scriptless selling are the same people that are also teaching all these other BS tactics that business owners get in trouble for. So I know we talked about the real estate testimonial as an example, but there's other examples that don't even deal necessarily with money. If you're selling on a health and wellness offer and it's a weight loss offer, and you tell a story about Sarah who had a big back and she lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months with no dieting or exercising. Well, is that typical? Do most people actually lose that much weight within that time period? If not, that is illegal, right? And you want to make sure you're giving out disclosures around those testimonials. And like I said, the last one I believe is the most important. It's easy and effortless promises. So it's kind of like when you get on a call and they're asking you, well, is this something that's hard? And you let them know anyone can do it. No skills are required. You just set it up and you forget about it. Or, you might be on a trading offer where you're telling people, you just copy and paste trades. It's super simple. The FTC says you must disclose the time, effort, and skill required. So you don't want to be telling people on these calls, anyone can do it, right? Or no skills are required. These are things that will get you in a lot of trouble and the business owner. So what I want to do next, because we ended up talking about these three main tactics that a lot of these sales coaches are doing that's completely illegal. But I didn't want to leave you guys just hanging, completely confused on what to do when you've already been doing this, maybe on your calls, or you've been learning from someone that's telling you to do these different case studies, lifestyle claims, or even easy and effortless promises. So I wanted to actually break down what I teach and what you can go ahead and implement for your calls or when you're actually looking to get into high ticket sales. So what you can do to actually bypass this and get people to still close without being uncompliant and really operating illegally is just selling the idea of the reason why they should do it is because it's hard. And this isn't some BS manipulation. It's true. Okay. Let's just say somebody is wanting to get into tech, right? You're selling some type of coaching program about tech, and the individual is saying, well, is this going to be hard? Is it really that hard to get into tech? Well, one thing that I've trained my closers on historically is just telling them and asking them, when was the last time you did something hard? And even ask yourself that. A lot of times the leads will end up pondering on the question and they'll tell you something from way back, like, oh, I went to college, that was super hard. And then we end up asking them, okay, well, how long ago was that? 8 or 9 years ago. Okay. Well, when was the last time? It's been years since you've actually done something challenging. And let me ask you this, if it was easy and everyone can do it, why should you get paid, a 6-figure salary to do something that's easy? The reason why you should do this is because it's hard, because it's challenging, because it's not for everybody. And that's actually what sets you up for success and makes you not as replaceable. So that's a common frame that we end up doing. That's just like a little bit of a sneak peek of actually being a compliant closer and selling something legally. And we can sit here and talk about all the different ways all day, but just wanted to make sure I shoot and give you guys this information because I'm just seeing so many businesses getting shut down, and it's very unfortunate because they just don't know that these laws and regulations even exist, and these closers are getting trained by people that are literally telling them not to even follow a script. How does that make sense? How are you going to run a real legit company with everyone being uncompliant? That doesn't even make sense to me. Now, I'm not saying to follow the script word for word, but you need some type of flow. You need some type of regulations and some quality control when it comes to these larger high ticket sales team. And did you know the FTC literally shut down a business coaching company just for the way that they sold their programs? It was called Learn. And they promised things like stay at home millionaire and, 98% of people can fail at this and still make over $11,000 a month. They sold high ticket coaching based on literally just hype, and they had very, very few, if any, clients actually succeeding. So the FTC had to step in and actually enforce refunds. They banned the income claims, and the business ended up collapsing overnight because of this happening. And all they had to do instead was just be upfront about the amount of effort it required, right? Instead of telling people they can make money in a month, they could have just told them, hey, 6 to 12 months of consistent work. Instead of selling, they could have just sold the process and system, a bunch of promises and outcomes. They could have framed it as something being difficult as a value add-on instead of, hey, this is something that's easy and you can get rich quick. They could have used real client averages and typical results instead of these extreme outliers and telling people they're going to make $11,000 a month. And you can actually build trust through compliance. A lot of people nowadays, they're not falling for these gimmicks, okay? A lot of that hyped up closing and fast stuff is outdated, and it creates a bunch of refunds and chargebacks and FTC risk. So an easy way to actually stand out in front of these business owners is just being a compliant closer. It's super attractive to real companies, not these little programs that 18-year-old e-commerce bro is selling online, talking about real high-level companies that are doing 7 and 8 figures a year. So that's one way that you can really stand out in high ticket sales and get on the right offers and differentiate yourself. So if you want more content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and there's also going to be another video right here. Make sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.